Dearly redheaded, we are choosing consciousness today to get through this thing called grief. Interesting word, grief. It means love, which makes for a mighty good joke. But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing else. Just joy. And if the big picture tends to bring you down, go crazy once your life goes. Woo!
Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joanne.
This is Tim's second time recording with me. We fast-tracked last week's episode, so this will be several weeks after what we fast-tracked with Will Person. I am going to start today with a pet peeve. And I can't elaborate too much because I'm in finance, but I became curious about what are now called home equity investment. Not HELOCs, not home equity loans, but the home equity investment, fondly known as an HEI. Have you heard?
So I'm familiar with the acronym HEI, but I'm not quite familiar with it.
So there's a certain company that I will not mention, and there's several, but I called one in particular because I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I always feel like I should know about these things when it comes to my clients and myself, whatever. So it turns out what they do is they give you about 25% of the value of the equity in your home, and you don't have to pay anything for 10 years. But at the end of the 10 years, you have to give the money back, plus an additional 25%. So 50% of the appreciated value of the home. Yeah. 0 to 3 years, it's like 12.5 rate of return. 3 to 4 to 6, it was 20, and then 6 to 10, 7 to 10, it was like 50. So the person trying to solicit me for this loan, I'm asking questions, and he's trying to show me charts, and I'm like, let me just ask the questions. So ultimately, I said, it's too bad you don't have a hybrid, something that you can pay for the use of the equity in your home, make it more affordable than a HELOC or a home equity loan. And he said, well, this product is highly in demand. I said, I would imagine the middle class is bleeding out and you don't have income requirements, which is what keeps somebody from getting a HELOC on their own home or a loan against their equity in their home. Once they don't qualify, they have the equity in the home, they don't have the income to justify having the line of credit or the loan. So he was so proud to say that how in demand the product was. So obviously people are bleeding out, and there's no incentive to do the right thing. So it was a recorded line. He was a little irritated with me. But I figured I'd share that because what I thought I was going to learn was a really neat thing. Essentially, it forces the sale of your home if you don't have the money in 10 years.
Who would think they'd do that?
It was like, okay. And then I looked the company up, and they're having some problems in certain parts of the country, being viewed as predatory. So I was validated. Any hooch. Along those same lines, but different, it's not a pet peeve. When I did talk to Will Person, I brought up briefly a use of AI to him that may serve him, and I don't know how to pronounce it. It's NYAYAM.org.
My guess would be NYAYAM.
NYAYAM? All right, let's go with that.
I'll have you know, I did look that up then later.
It's pretty unbelievable, isn't it?
It was interesting. I didn't have anything to really put into it, but I looked at it. It looked very...
All right, you got to lean in.
Yeah, I know. I realized.
Tim just said, I don't even know what you just said. Say it again.
Okay. I'll say it again. Essentially, I was interested after hearing Joanne speak about it, so I went after our podcast and I looked it up myself. Now, is mainly for legal things, right? So I didn't have anything that I could think of off the top of my head to put in there, but it looks really clean. It's a nice looking website.
Yes, I found it by accident, researched it, if you will, and researched the founder, whose name I have somewhere in my notes, Manoj Malineni, Malineni. He's from India. The company also has law firms utilizing this strategy in India. So it's only a matter of time till it gets to the United States, maybe 2-3 decades. That's a joke. Anyway, when I have something pending, I'm not a litigious person, but I have something that I do want to pursue. It's coming up against the statute of limitations. I've been told I have a case, but I've also been told it would require deep pockets, which I didn't understand. I understand the research involved, but I've done that part, and I understand there's a lot of documents to go through, but that's something now AI can do, both of those things. So it's interesting. And when I put in my case, I definitely felt like I was dealing with the most intelligent form of AI I've interacted with. Like, I was astonished what I could throw out there and what was coming back. And not only being able to represent relevant research to my case, but relevant steps I should take in order to pursue and how to go about making somebody recognize that the case is valid and valuable. Now, I thought I could file something before the statute expires just as an individual, or hire an attorney just to do that, even if they didn't take my case. And I've been told that's not possible, which is very unfortunate, because that just means the industry is more money-driven and less do the right thing oriented than I had imagined. Imagine that. Shocking.
Are you telling us that the legal and justice system not exactly so intent on...
I just, things have got to be about money, but then under conscious capitalism, there's got to be a certain ratio of whatever. I went down a rabbit hole with AI in publishing, AI in teaching. So this NYAYAM, is that what we decided to call it? NYAYAM,
I think.
All right, is the upside of...
Don't trust me, though. I have a friend who always makes me pronounce things because she thinks I don't say it right.
Oh, all right. So I'm going to keep spelling it.
I think that's what you want to do.
NYAYAM is an AI-powered legal platform designed to simplify complex legal issues, including consumer complaints and document reviews, by providing accessible guidance for various disputes. Users can leverage AI tools for analyzing legal cases, though it is intended for guidance rather than replacing human legal counsel, until it does. Key aspects. Target areas. The platform offers help with consumer complaints, landlord disputes, and family matters. Functionality. That word provides state-of-the-art AI analysis for case documents. Purpose. It aims to democratize justice by turning complex legal concepts into clear, usable information. Limitations. As with other AI legal tools, it is crucial to remember that AI can sometimes hallucinate or provide inaccurate feedback or complex legal documents. For complex or high-stakes cases, it is generally recommended to verify AI-generated advice with qualified legal professionals. And that's my situation. Isn't that complex? But it is on certain levels. as I said, I've been told I have a case, but it requires deep pockets. And most of the people that I've spoken to that aren't attorneys, like intake people, the law firms put you through intake, let you spout for 15 minutes only to say we don't do that. But they do that to be able to say we tried, which didn't take me too long to figure out. But, oh well. Yeah, and I mentioned the law firm in India, NYA. Actually, now this is spelled a little differently. That's interesting. Did I miss that? Anyway, there's a law firm utilizing this research in India. So whether they're related or not, I don't know. My point is, I would imagine at some juncture, the attorneys in this country will want this system to vet their cases. I mean, it's just nothing like it. Just nothing like it. And it'll give them further excuses not to help. And this is just to drive the point home. Access to justice is a fundamental human right, yet for millions across the globe, business owners and those dealing with cross-border legal issues, it remains an expensive, complex, and time-consuming labyrinth. The challenge is often multiplied by borders, varying jurisdictions, and the prohibitive cost of legal counsel. Enter AI. Far from being a futuristic gimmick, specialized AI legal platforms like this one, NYAYAM, are rapidly dismantling traditional barriers, making quality legal intelligence accurate, accessible, and anonymous for the global citizen. It shatters the cost barrier. Quality legal help for everyone. The single greatest obstacle to justice worldwide is cost. Hiring a lawyer, especially one skilled, is a luxury few can afford. AI changes the economics entirely. The end of billable hours for research. This is what I was saying. A significant portion of a legal bill goes towards research, finding precedents, analyzing statutes, and reviewing documents. AI platforms perform these tasks in seconds, not hours. By automating the grunt work, the overall cost of obtaining sound legal advice plummets, making it accessible to those who previously couldn't even consider it. Tiered access. Platforms like this offer subscriptions, providing information at a fraction of the cost of a single consultation. This model ensures that a budget is no longer a primary detriment of the quality of legal information you receive. Cost me $20. They had an annual fee, I think, of $200, and they limit you by the number of scenarios you put in there. I got 5 scenarios for $20 for a month, and I only had one scenario, and bang, zoom, I was done. So in addition to shattering the cost barrier, it overcomes geography. Your legal expert is always online. 24/7 availability. It performs without borders or office hours. A critical legal question that arises at 2 a.m. in Singapore can be answered instantly by a system that has analyzed global and jurisdictional data. Reduce travel and time. AI eliminates the need to travel, schedule costly calls, or wait weeks for initial consultation. This real-time, on-demand access is essential for high-speed, cross-border commerce and urgent personal matters. 3, demystifies legal complexity with plain language. I think that one's self-explanatory. Translating the legalese. Advanced AI takes complex legal statutes, judgments, and contractual clauses and translates them into clear, actionable insights. You don't just get a wall of text. You get a summary. It was magnificent the way it summarized what I was looking for. Document analysis simplified. Imagine uploading a 50-page agreement. It will instantaneously identify key risks, highlight ambiguous clauses, and red flag terms that deviate from jurisdictional standards, a process that would cost thousands and take days with a traditional firm. I would imagine, too, when it comes to records, you would just highlight what words and bang zoom. It can simplify that because a lot of hospitals produce hundreds of pages when hospitals are involved. In summary, it's not here to replace the human lawyer entirely. Why not? But it is revolutionizing the initial access point and the strategic foundation of legal problem solving. It offers a paradigm shift from justice being a service reserved for the privileged few to being a fundamental resource available to all. It can help you to navigate the complexities of global law with confidence, ensuring that your right to justice is never limited by your location or your bank account. Yeah, that really, really amazed me. And I look for ways to be amazed by AI, because I think there's ways that AI is a terrible detriment and does dumb us down in ways. So when it actually has a huge intellectual component, it's nice to see. Anything you want to say? You're looking at me.
Well, I was just going to say, I was like a firm believer in if you don't use it, you lose it. So I think AI definitely hurts with that, where it's easier to have something else think for you than for you to think for yourself.
But if you are a thinking person, it can only...
Yeah, I mean, I think too with AI, you got to know what questions to ask, how to prompt it. That's, a very important factor in it.
Yeah, and that's how I am anyway. I've said before, and I don't hope it doesn't sound arrogant, that I think AI is autistic because it is an amazing way to synthesize, think outside the box, and ask the right questions. When I used to propose to Google my questions, I no longer propose to Google my questions. I propose to AI, and inevitably, it's a much better answer.
I think that's what a lot of people are doing now too. We've seen that.
Yeah. And not to make it sound unique, but I, for those of us outside the box, even more so. Like typical run of the mill, where do I buy cow chips? I was when I went down the AI rabbit hole, I was very interested as to where teaching is, because I know a lot of teachers use it in ways that, shall we say, supplement the human component versus using it to the betterment of children. Like there's a slacker component.
Sure, I get what you're getting at. Yeah.
So I was interested in how far along that discussion was, where teachers use it for good versus evil, if you will.
Sure.
And
boil it down.
Huh?
I said if we want to boil it down.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see, or maybe not, that teachers aren't getting picked on nearly as much as I was hoping they would. Because I think education is a real problem, and I think AI can help and can hinder, and it comes down to the individuals using it. Well, so we'll see. And then publishing. I've been attending a publishing boot camp, and learning about what I want to do with my writing. And obviously, well, maybe not so obviously, publishers are embracing AI in ways that I didn't expect, and ways that, nobody wants AI to write your book, but they are absolutely touting AI, giving you ideas to enhance and improve your writing before you bring it to or try to hire an agent. So I can see where I mentioned, you weren't here, but I mentioned Voicey several weeks ago. Voicey will edit.
Yeah, I post your clips and stuff, and I saw the thing about Voicey on the one I'm trying to think about if that was 2 weeks ago or if it was last we's. And that's not going to matter because this is going to come out weeks later, so they're not going to know. Yeah.
But I think I can see the problem with editing. I can see the problem with it's interesting, and it comes down to and this was also part of my rabbit hole, which I had always, not always, but I had for the last several years, I think I've mentioned one of my sons, I felt like he was going to get involved in programming, and it's just an intuitive thing. Whether it happens or not is not the point of saying it, that he was going to help program AI for benevolence. So I was, that benevolence in AI was huge. The way various articles and people were talking about the importance of it. And then I was asking, can AI lie? Of course it can.
Sure.
And then I was asking, can AI call out AI? And then all of a sudden I was like, well, that's basically what humans do, AI can do. Whatever humans can do, AI can do better.
And you know why? Because we programmed it.
No, I know, but that's why the focus was on benevolence.
Sure, absolutely.
Because
let's program that in.
One would hope.
One would hope.
But it basically, and I'm not trying to have a eureka moment. I'm trying to help other 50, 60-year-olds. That it's just an amazing, it's mirroring the human experience versus us mirroring it's mirroring us, which is just kind of, if you've all thought of that, you're ahead of me. There you go. But I had
doing the art imitating life imitating art.
Yeah. So when you say you're afraid of it, who's more afraid of humans? I'm more afraid of humans.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting. Anyway, I am trying to stay up to date without letting it, like the naysayers, get me too fired up about it. And also being in finance, I feel like it's important to know.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be? You'd have to.
Because I hope it doesn't come across as advice. There's a difference between financial advice and financial opinion. So where are we with time?
We're at 21 minutes.
Oh, poop.
That's 22, basically.
Well, we should. I can lean into. I was going to make a separate episode out of it, but it plays in it, and we go into a second. I looked at my website because I'm going to be taking a break from podcasting. You folks won't know it because I'm ahead in my episodes, but I'm going to be taking a break and then coming back and probably podcasting a little less open. I want to less often. I want to write more. I need to write more. This has helped me process a lot, but I need to write. So why did I go down that tangent? Oh, I went to my website and I was like, did I hit the high notes? Because I know very often I'll get fired up about something and then I don't follow through, story of my life. But I went to my website and I've done a pretty decent job at hitting all the things I said I was going to discuss over the last several months here. And one thing that by the time this airs, my conversation with Melissa Cox will have aired, and we delved into conscious capitalism. And today, the rabbit hole, I was like cross-referencing conscious capitalism in the age of AI. At its core, capitalism creates value for shareholders and employees. The person referenced in this article, who is a Kevin Surace, Surace, drew a sharp distinction between extractive leadership and conscious leadership. Companies that treat employees, customers, and vendors as part of a shared ecosystem consistently outperform those that ignore humanity for the sake of profit. I could argue that, but I can't argue that here. Catch on? He reminded us that leadership is not about being the mean CEO who drives results at all costs. True conscious capitalism thrives on relationships built on trust. listening, and shared purpose. Customers, employees, and leaders who want to make work together in meaningful ways from the foundation of sustainable success. AI and the replacement of tasks, not people. Every major technological shift has eliminated certain jobs. The wheel replaced manual carriers. Cars displaced horse-drawn carriages. Excel transformed bookkeeping. Bookkeeping, period. AI, Kevin explained, is no different. But what it really replaces are tasks, not entire people. I read it this morning, and now I don't see what I was trying to highlight. So give me a quick second. It's not going to come to me quickly, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Key takeaways. Conscious Capitalism and the Age of AI is the article. Conscious capitalism consistently outperforms extractive models. AI does not replace people, but automates tasks, freeing humans for higher value work. The more AI we adopt, the more we must strengthen emotional intelligence and values. Purpose anchors leaders through disruption, creating meaning and resilience. Love and leadership transforms workplaces into communities of trust and loyalty. Final thoughts. Conscious capitalism in the age of AI is not about choosing between people, profit and people. It's about recognizing that long-term profit only comes when people and planet are valued alongside shareholders. Leaders who ground their use of AI in purpose purpose, empathy, and love will create organizations that thrive in this new era of work. I was more, and I found something in here, but I'm not going to find it quickly. I was more concerned about AI making capitalism more conscious versus what I just read. You see, you see the little twist on that, like holding us more accountable.
Sure, that would be good.
Yeah, which is what humans don't do.
Not historically.
No. So that was the angle that I spitballed and kind of blew. But hey, yeah. So as a result of this conversation, I think I'm going to deviate because I feel like for upcoming podcasts, I'll find people to speak more intelligently about what I just tried to do.
Thank you for listening and supporting Natural Born Redhead. If you follow the bouncing balls, please like and subscribe. If you know someone interested in sparing others grief and inciting joy, message me on Facebook or reach out via my website, Natural Born Redhead. J-Ma.